Hi guys, as promised, here is a bit of instructions for you about how to make climographs. I made one myself from that Melbourne data that we were using in class, and I've put together a bit of narration for it, so hopefully this video step by step will make things a little bit easier for you. Let's get to it.
The things you will need are 1mm graph paper. You will also need a ruler, a pencil with an eraser, a black pen, and some coloured pencils. You'll also need your climate data, with this case, Melbourne. First thing I did was fold the graph paper in half, just to make it a bit easier. I counted 12 centimetres across for each of the 12 months of the year and drew a line. Then you need to figure out your scale. For this one, because we have data going up to 20 degrees Celsius, I figured going up to 25 was good. For this, each half centimetre was equal to 1 degree or 10 millimetres of rainfall. So I counted up each of those, making sure I was make them even on both sides. Don't forget to give your graph a title.
Looking at our climate data again, we always start climographs with the rainfall, which is the bar graph portion. So for this, we're starting with January, which, as you can see, there were 47 millimetres of rainfall that month on average. Remembering to use the right-hand axis for rainfall, we're going to count up to 47 degrees and use our ruler to go all the way across to January so we can mark it clearly. Still using our ruler, make a short line across for that centimetre that is January, and then using our ruler to go down vertically to complete our bar for January. Now you need to go through the whole process for all 12 months of the year until you get something that looks like this. Now it's time for the temperature. So in January, Melbourne was 20 degrees. You're going to take your pencil and draw a dot along the 20-degree line in January. You would think that you'd put that dot in the line, but you would in fact be wrong in this case. You need to make sure that dot is actually in the center of the column. And then, like we did for the rainfall, go ahead and do the same thing for each month of the year. You will have 12 dots on your graph. You will then need to draw a line that connects those dots. Now it's really, really important here that you don't draw straight lines between the dots. You need to make a curved line. I like to start my curved line at the axis itself and just sort of taper it off a little bit. So very gently follow that curve of those dots with your pencil. Now this is where the fun part comes in with the coloured pencils. For climate graphs, they are generally in blue and red, blue being for rainfall and the red being for temperature. You're going to use the blue pencil to carefully and neatly shade in each bar. Don't do them all at once with the pencil across the bars. Colour in each bar individually so you get something that looks a bit like this. Now you're going to take your red pencil and carefully trace the line that you drew. Then we're going to use our black pen, go over all our lines, all our numbers, until you get something that looks like this. Nice and neat, the climate graph for Melbourne, Australia.